It was a summer day so hot that the air above the asphalt shimmered like visible demons. We were three friends, exhausted by the monotony of summer in our small town when a stupid idea came to us, a trip to Terror Beach, as we used to call it. A deserted shore an hour and a half away by car, where waves crashed against black rocks and the wreck of an old ship remained half submerged, like the skeleton of a giant. Mazen, the most reckless among us, said, "I heard that anyone who visits that beach at night sees things that shouldn't be seen." Abdullah, the skeptical mastermind, replied, "Superstitions. The place is abandoned because it's dangerous due to the currents, not because of ghosts." As for me, Yasser, I hesitated. But our need for adventure, for breaking the boredom, outweighed any reservations. We packed sleeping bags, flashlights, some canned food, saved our location on Google Maps — the signal was extremely weak — and set off in my old car 2 hours before sunset. The road to the beach was winding and neglected. Parts of the asphalt had disappeared entirely, leaving us on a dirt road cutting through a dense pine forest that blocked most of the late daylight. The air began to cool, salty sea breeze slipping through the open windows. The sounds of birds gradually faded, replaced by a heavy silence broken only by the engine and the rustling of pine needles. When we arrived, a chill ran through me, and it wasn't from the cold. The beach was harsher than I had imagined. Grayish-black sand stretched until it met massive black rocks stained with green algae. On the horizon lay the decaying remains of the shipwreck, tilted on its side, groaning with every wave that struck it. The water was a dark, leaden gray, and the sky above us turned a deep purple as night approached. "What if we set up the tent a little farther back, behind those dunes?" I suggested, my voice tight in my throat. "No, we need to be right by the sea. That's the adventure," Mazen replied with forced enthusiasm, though I noticed his eyes scanning the horizon nervously. We did as he wanted. We pitched our small, bright orange tent, which looked like a splash of fresh blood against the dark skin of the beach. We lit a small fire, ate a little, and tried to joke, but our laughter felt hollow, quickly swallowed by the crashing waves and the wind that promised something ominous. The first strange sign was the disappearance of our food. We had left 2 cans of tuna and some bread beside the fire, then went to collect dry wood near the forest's edge. When we returned, the food was gone. Only the empty cans remained opened with meticulous precision, perfectly clean inside, as if something had licked them thoroughly. "Animals, foxes, or seals," Abdullah said, but his eyes betrayed his words. There were no footprints around the tent except our own. We decided to sleep early, hoping the night would pass quickly. The 3 of us lay inside the cramped tent, flashlights beside us like primitive weapons. Outside, the wind suddenly died, and the sea became eerily calm. The silence was so heavy I could hear my own heartbeat and my friends'. Then the sound began. At first, I thought I was dreaming. The sound of something heavy being dragged across the sand. Shh. Shh. Slow. Laborious. I sat up abruptly, flashlight in hand. Mazen and Abdullah were awake too, their eyes wide in the darkness. "Do you hear that?" Mazen whispered. The sound was closer now, coming from the direction of the water, from the shipwreck. I carefully unzipped the tent and peeked outside. The air was cold and sharp. I shone my flashlight toward the sound. My breath stopped. There was a figure near the waterline where wet sand met the sea. A human shape, or something like one. It walked hunched over slowly, as if every step required immense effort. It looked unnaturally tall, its limbs thin and strangely jointed. I couldn't see details, the light didn't reach far enough, but I saw it stop and lift its head. Or what passed for a head, toward my flashlight. "Oh my God," Abdullah whispered behind me. At that moment, my flashlight went out. So did my friends, as if some unseen force had drained them all at once. Total darkness swallowed us, the moon hidden behind thick clouds. Shh, shh. The dragging stopped. Then we heard another sound, breathing. Rough, broken, like punctured lungs, and it was close. Too close. Right outside the tent. My blood froze. A sharp stench seeped through the tent fabric. Rot, spoiled salt, decaying flesh. The smell of the sea when it returns a bloated corpse. We didn't move. We couldn't. Fear pinned us to the cold ground. The breathing circled the tent slowly, as if inspecting it, sniffing it. I heard a soft scratching at the fabric, right at head level, as though a long, peeling finger brushed against it. The nightmare lasted for an eternity, minutes, hours, before the sound suddenly stopped. The smell vanished. Only the sea remained. "We have to leave, now," Mazen whispered, climbing out of his sleeping bag. "No, don't go out," I tried to warn him, but he had already unzipped the tent. We followed, shaking with fear and cold. The sky was still dark, but our eyes adjusted. The beach looked empty. The car was 50 meters away, exactly where we'd left it. "Come on, hurry," Abdullah said, and we ran, our shoes sinking into the sand. I made the mistake of looking back. I saw it. It stood between the tent and the car, not standing so much as hunched, its long arms nearly touching the sand. It had no clear features, just a darkness denser than the surrounding night. But I saw its eyes, not eyes, but pale yellow-green patches glowing like phosphorescence, and they were fixed directly on us. "What are you waiting for? Run!" Mason screamed. We bolted. I heard sand shifting rapidly behind us, the harsh, rasping breath closing in. It was moving fast, unnaturally fast for such a hunched form. We reached the car and jumped inside. Abdullah's hands shook so badly he dropped the key twice before finding the ignition. I looked through the rear window. It stood only 10 meters away. In the starlight, I saw it more clearly. Its body resembled a skeleton wrapped in wet, slick skin, strands of seaweed hanging from it. Its head was long and pointed, its mouth a wide slit stretching almost ear to ear, filled with small, sharp teeth like a shark's. And those phosphorescent eyes followed our every movement with sharp intelligence hunger. The engine turned, died, turned again, died. "No, no, no, not now," Abdullah shouted. The thing took a step toward us, then another. Its movements were jerky, almost mechanical but fast. Just as it extended its long arm, ending in dark claws, toward my car door, the engine finally roared to life. We slammed into reverse, then spun around and tore down the dirt road at full speed. We looked back. It stood in the middle of the road, watching us fade away. Slowly it raised one hand as if waving, or promising we would meet again. We drove for kilometers before daring to stop. We were shaking, drenched in cold sweat. No one spoke. "What? What was that?" Mazen finally whispered. "I don't know. But we need to call the police," Abdullah said, trying to sound rational. I checked my phone. No signal. Google Maps didn't show our location. We were on the main road, but the map still showed us at the beach. "It's a technical glitch," Abdullah said, though doubt filled his eyes. 10 minutes passed. 20. We kept driving, but the scenery outside wasn't familiar. The trees grew denser, the road rougher. Then we saw the sign ahead. Terror Beach, 1 kilometer. We slammed to a stop. "That's impossible. We were driving the opposite direction," Mazen yelled. We turned around. 10 minutes later, the sign appeared again. We were trapped in a loop. My phone now showed our location, clearly driving in small circles around the beach. On the map, a small icon marked the shore, a shipwreck. I tapped it. SS Marianne, sank in 1923, 40 passengers missing. Missing, never found, Abdullah read. Tap, tap, tap. Our hearts leapt. A sound at the driver's window. There was a face, a small child's face, pale, soaked with wide black eyes. He smiled, an upside-down smile, tapping the glass with a swollen finger. "Open. It's cold," he whispered, his voice watery. Abdullah screamed and floored the gas. The face vanished. Behind us, shapes emerged from the trees, wet, distorted human figures. Men, women, children, all staring with hollow, sorrowful, or angry eyes. And among them stood the tall figure with the glowing eyes. Their shepherd. They're the missing passengers, I screamed. But what is that thing? Mazen asked. We knew then we weren't being trapped by the road. We were being hunted.